Welcome to the MIdcoast podcast. New shows every Tuesday with your hosts, Chris, Matt, James, and
See, I
Chan.
be higher than most. Top of the dollar, keep your eye on the coast. I see you wave a mile away and don't alert, I just post. Running out of evil, so the work getting slow. And they be tripping on the render, but be loving the post. Focus where you headed, how you cope on the road. I wanna fly out the city, wanna take you somewhere clean. Know you moving on to bigger, better things. You know I'm on the ring, you know I'm on call. You looking like you getting it, gon' fall. I'm dipping on the late night.
Are we twitching? How many viewers before we start? 0? Okay, cool.
Yep, 0.
Confirmed. Perfect.
Okay. Welcome to MIdcoast Podcast, episode 9. Thanks for joining us. I got Shannon, James, and Matt here with me. So how are you guys doing this week? Everything going good? Quarantine treating you well?
Sure.
Matt, when you say it like that, it makes me not believe you.
You have something to tell us, Matt? You're going through some stuff.
It was all right for me, but yeah, you know.
For me, it was good. It was like another week, so I can't really complain about it. Got to go to the gym, but I was also on time for the podcast today, James. So,
not too bad. Work was normal. I guess just another week in the books. I guess
Man, it's so exhilarating. Some great content in this nice segment of how you guys are doing. So that's kind of interesting, though. Your gyms are open, like officially.
my gym's been open for a while. I've been going to the gym for a while. They have their protocols and whatever. So yeah.
Yeah, gyms here are still closed, so you can't go to the gym. There's none open, so unless they're secretly open, there is no protocols. Just can't go. So no gains here. No one's getting swole.
James, before we started this podcast, or right as we started it, sent us his leg day, his profile of what you've done today. I will say 315 for 8 reps. I'm disappointed. I thought you were better than that.
Hey, I appreciate the disappointment, man. I'm getting back, man. This pandemic really hurt the leg day. I was not out in the driveway picking up rocks or whatever, doing any squatting. So
You didn't want to try for 900 pounds, like that video you were talking about?
nah, man. I'm on that Hugh Jackman leg day type of deal. So just got to get the abs right, whatnot, in the arms for the claws. It's not about the legs.
I will say 315 is impressive though. I'm just giving you shit. Yeah, it's very impressive.
That's because short people don't have to go as low, so it's easier to squat heavyweight.
Don't take that away from him.
I know, says the guy who hasn't squatted in forever. Jeez. One thing I will bring up about squatting is I recently saw a video. I believe this guy was Russian or Eastern European. He was squatting around or attempting to squat around 850 plus pounds as a PR or something like that. And both of his knees exploded. When I say exploded, I mean literally exploded. Like there's two loud pops. The guy drops to the ground, and I read in the aftermath that he is going to have to learn how to walk again. Has many months of rehab ahead of him, and they had to sew his quads back onto his knees. So yeah.
So wait, when he fell, where did the weight land on him, or did it just roll behind him, or what?
Yeah, it just rolled off his back. There's that video is definitely available for consumption on the old interwebs. Feel free to Google "squatter's legs exploded." I'm sure it'll pop up as like the number 1 search item.
Poor guy, I know it's gonna suck the most. Like all those gains are gone.
Gone, right? Oh, makes me wonder, like if he starts, like, is he gonna have to start back at the bar, I imagine, or just body weight, right? So it's a long climb back, I guess, ahead for that guy.
Well, if he has to learn to walk again, it's clearly going to just be body weight to start.
Well, hopefully he's short, so he doesn't have to do it. It won't be very hard for him.
Well, you saw the video, was he?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
He's gonna get new knees, right?
Hopefully. I mean, the guy looked like he could do it. His legs were wrapped up and everything, and they still exploded. So
Do you think he's gonna be better than he was before
absolutely
with his
not.
new knees?
No,
$1 billion,
not at all.
man.
I think he would be lucky. He'd be lucky to squat over 300 pounds again. I'm sure he will, like if he's driven enough. But I would probably sit down and stay sitting down after something like that.
He should just coach. Go ahead and just tell him how to do it, and then stop before you get to your weight, okay?
Don't want to blow your knees out. Maybe you could make an Alex Smith comeback. He only has one leg, so you never know. Anything's possible.
Did you see what he had to go through? Oh my gosh, guys, that was bad.
The Alex Smith? Oh god, that was disgusting. That
His
injury.
leg's like rotting off.
Yeah. Ugh, that was so bad. Yeah, he wears that sleeve so no one sees the scar. He wears like the Kobe arm sleeve, but on his one leg.
Not all the
Matt,
quarterbacks are gonna do it.
did you say his leg was rotting?
Yes.
Yeah, it got infected, and they had like cut off flesh and all that.
They had to cut like muscle and stuff from other parts of his body and then put it down on his leg because his muscle was rotting off.
Oh my god.
They didn't they do a 30 for 30 on him? Yeah, it was pretty good actually. I'll check it out if you want to learn more about his injury. But that was a pretty gruesome hit.
Yeah, he almost lost his leg. They were thinking about amputating it.
Yeah, now he's playing for the Washington football team.
That's so funny to say. It just sounds so dumb.
I know, that's why I said it. But hopefully he starts. That'd be kind of cool. You know, a good comeback story is always nice.
I don't think he's gonna start, to be honest. I think they're gonna just keep playing Dwayne Haskins.
Did you see Dwayne Haskins last year though? He was, I don't know.
We'll see, man. If that's the future of your franchise, I'm starting Dwayne.
Well, we're talking about good comebacks though. Teddy Bridgewater, man, that guy has a good comeback story too. Right now.
Yeah, that's true. Very true. Oh my god.
The most important question though, Alex Smith or that Russian guy, who squats more in like 2 months?
In 2 months, I'm gonna say Alex Smith if that guy's getting his quads sewn back to his knees.
He has a bicep on his thigh and he can still squat more than you.
Probably would still squat more than me right now. Alex Smith has been training pretty hard.
Yeah. He was training with a lot of those veterans that had injuries. Of course, you know, they have a lot of lower body injuries coming back over here. So he was training in Texas, I believe, with those veterans, like San Antonio, I believe. So he got the best doctors.
Yeah, because his injury in the 30 for 30, they kind of go over it. His injury was similar to getting blown up by like an IUD or whatever, or not an IUD, but one of those bombs, hidden bombs.
IUD, is that what
wait, isn't an IUD the thing that? Like,
yeah, that's what he put up in. Yeah. What is it? What's the acronym for
IED?
IED. Yeah, improvised explosive device.
That's it.
Not a
IUD.
Not a paper clip used to prevent pregnancy.
Now I need to look up what IUD is. I think it's uteral something, right?
Yeah.
Intrauterine device.
Yeah,
all right.
Birth control. It's
I
not.
don't think that's it, Chris.
I don't think you got a birth control injury, but
Chris, do you have an IUD? I'm sorry.
I don't think it fits through my pee hole. So.
Oh, real quick, I'll tell you where my brain too went as well. When you're like, he's working out with veterans, I just thought like, there's a bunch of injured football players just working out together.
I also thought that.
But that's my brain there for you. So.
Yeah, so similar to an IED. Not an IUD. But a good documentary. Rounding that up. Watch that 30 for 30. And birth control.
I mean, it'd be very interesting if he inserted an IUD and it blew up. And that was the reason.
Oh god, that would be terrible.
There's a recall on IUDs.
Vaginas blowing up everywhere.
My pussy popping.
Oh.
Yes, it is.
Legitimately. Like the cell phones that were exploding with the batteries. Same thing.
You don't talk about Samsung like that.
So, you know, starting off the podcast, I kind of want to go into, you know, like silly stories, get a nice, moving on to kind of the next segment or maybe new segment, see how this kind of works out, is, you know, I looked up a silly headline, and this one was a poop-soaked phone rescued by, you know, individuals that clean porta potties. So,
wow, what a crappy job.
Oh, dad.
Wow.
No? Okay.
Wow.
No.
It's like every article I read had the, oh, this literally stunk. And you're like, okay, we get it.
So I'm going to play the video so our viewers could hear it. And, you know, I want your guys' reactions kind of as it goes on and afterwards. And then maybe wrap up what was like the worst thing you've ever done with your phone. Whatever happened. Did you drop it in the toilet, or, you know, did you go through 4 phones in a matter of a month? let our viewers know your worst experience with a phone. So as you guys can check out this headline right here, it says poop-soaked phone rescued from National Forest toilet. So I'm going to play the audio, like I said, and, give me kind of feedback and comments. It's kind of an interesting subject. I'm sure that lady never thought she would see that phone. I would assume it's lost. I'm not going to dig through some shit to get my cell phone back, but let's listen to this and, comment as it goes along and give me your input.
It was that exact scene at a vault toilet very similar to this one near Holland Lake on the Flathead National Forest, where one Helena woman did exactly that. The phone fell into the vault toilet and she assumed it was lost. That was until the sanitation company that cleans out the toilet found it.
True heroes.
I was kind of in shock. I was like, whoa, there's a phone. Looks like a nice one. And then I told Cody, he goes, oh, okay. And then so we...
So you think when he picked it up,
suck it up or what?
he's like, it looks like a nice one when it was covered in shit? Or was he like down in the vaulted toilet? And he was just like, yeah, this is a nice one. I could really tell as he's holding it in his gloved hands, hopefully.
Probably not gloved hands.
Probably not gloved hands.
Yeah, his body probably fights it away, so fights any disease.
Just keeps grabbing stuff.
Whatever. And then I told him to get the grabbers. So we have some grabbers that can grab like bottles and stuff. And so he grabbed them out. Cody grabbed them out.
Oh, he made sure to
So
tell him
when
to
Yeah.
grab it out.
Found the phone, they
Can you
decided
pause
to
it?
He made sure to tell him.
He's like, nah, Cody back there grabbed it. I ain't doing that.
You touch it.
Be very clear, I didn't go near the phone. It was Cody over here.
Cody, yeah.
I got a
ran when
question
saw it.
though. If you're that lady, would you take that phone back?
Maybe return it for an insurance policy. I don't know.
Go trade it in.
Trade it in. Yeah, sell it. Don't tell
Sell it
anybody.
on
Which,
Facebook.
Facebook Marketplace it. Just like this has a weird odor.
I mean, it was on the news. It might be worth more now.
Just say
Yeah.
it's Chinese or something.
Oh, jeez.
Too soon.
Yeah.
My decision would be directly tied to my financial situation as far as dealing with that phone after it's found.
Dip it in. There's so much hand sanitizer now. Just dip it in the hand sanitizer. Pull it out. Probably
Nah,
be
bro,
fine.
that thing's got to go, man. Nah, that thing's got to go. Sell it and get a new one.
You walk into
Uh-huh.
a T-Mobile store with your glove on, and they're like, well, "Why are you wearing a glove?" As you
Ziploc baggie. Glove
Right.
and Ziploc baggie. Just taking it. Yeah, I wouldn't want to put that next to my ear or mouth.
Because if you're rich, if you have enough money, you're buying a new one. If you're poor, you better take yourself to the pawn shop or Facebook Marketplace and get one of those stolen ones for the low.
Yep. Okay, let's continue.
let's see if we can get this thing to work. So they sanitized it, they let it dry out for a few days, and then decided they would just plug it in to see if it would even work. And lo and behold, it powered on. And that's just when their search began.
I went up to the Verizon store and stood in line and waited and got up to the front there, and they said without the owner, they can't access the phone whatsoever. So I called Apple. Basically, I got the same runaround with them. Then Tanner called around and got the great idea of pulling the SIM card out. And he's got an iPhone, so he was able to assist with that.
And once the crew did swap out the SIM card and they were able to call the rightful owner of the phone, she was a bit surprised to find out he was even still alive.
When she finally called me back, I told her who I was, told her, we found this phone in the Forest Service vault. And her initial reaction was, well, you guys must have to pump out toilets because that's the last place I saw that phone.
So while the crew at A1...
So what were you thinking if you get that call? It's like, hey, I found your phone. And you're like, well, I know I dropped it in the shitter. So, yeah,
She's like,
thanks.
damn, you guys have a shitty job.
You got to bring that joke up one more time. You're trying to make it land.
Well, I said crappy the first time. I said shitty the second time.
Getting more vulgar. Okay, that makes it funnier.
Give us a little laugh. You think she takes it back, right, everyone?
Yeah, what do we think? Takes it back. No, I don't think she does.
Well, I'm assuming they gave it to her, but oh man.
I would assume she said you can keep it unless she if it's more than 10 minutes away. Going back for that phone.
She obviously has another phone, unless they called like a house phone or something.
Yeah, who they call? Yeah.
It's totally. She already replaced it. She's like, nah, I'm good.
On sanitation might not service your neck of the woods. They said the reason there are signs up to not throw trash into vault toilets is because they said they still have to fish it out, or whatever crew is servicing the vault toilets has to fish those out, and it makes a tough job even tougher. Reporting in Helena, Sam Hoyle, MTN News.
So don't throw your shit down the shitter. No, no.
Oh, so you can do it.
Yup. I'm leading this podcast today. I get the corny jokes. That's pretty interesting. They don't say if it was reunited with the owner, but I'm assuming it was because they found her and reached out to her. But I'm pretty sure she sold it or got rid of it, because I would.
Give it to her niece or nephew or something. Here you go.
Play with this. All coming back with pink eye.
Ugh.
We gotta assume there's still particles floating around on that phone somewhere. There's a lot of little crevices in the speaker holes and
Right.
Oh God.
buttons and
I have
they
a
just
question. Was that really newsworthy? Like, where do they live?
I don't know if it was really newsworthy at all, but it was a hot breaking news story in Holland Lake area, wherever that may be, but that was newsworthy.
Guess it's better than someone getting shot or some kind of race thing. So that was nice. I guess a change of pace.
Nice poo-soaked phone.
Right.
Cutting news. Breaking news bulletin.
This was about brown, not black.
Oh, God. Did you just snort a little bit too? No joke. Well, going into the question at hand is, what is the worst thing that you've guys done with your phone or happened to your phone? And did you continue using it afterwards? James?
Two things. I'll go with the worst thing I've ever done to my phone was probably throw it on a drunken night into like the ground or it fell against the wall. Let's just say that. Yeah, I hucked that thing so hard, like I was trying to throw a fastball in the bottom of the ninth in the World Series. Like,
Somebody clocked you, it was 91. You're like, yep.
yep, trying to get it past A-Rod or Jeter, right, for the win. It shattered pretty hard. It was iPhone 4, I believe. Still had to use it after that for about 2 or 3 months due to my financial situation. Immediately regretted throwing my phone as soon as it left my hand. And the other thing, I would say the worst thing that happened to my phone was when I was 14. Left my first cell phone, the old school Nokia with the brick breaker and maybe Snake. Left it on the bus. It was stolen, taken by a fellow classmate, and never returned to me. They had the nerve to answer the phone when we called to try and find it. But till this day, I was never reimbursed or reunited with that phone. If you're listening, thank you very much, Noreen Gray.
Oh, throw her
Dang.
name out too.
Yeah.
Call them out.
Still
Yeah.
So I'm
salty.
guessing you guys aren't friends.
No, we are not friends. I hope she's doing well. Wish her all the best. But if she has kids, I hope some kid steals her kid's cell phone. So,
Or if she
there you
ever
go.
tries to squat 900 pounds, both
No,
knees.
no exploded knees. No, that's
She
that's
probably
a bit
still has a
harsh.
cell phone.
Oh God.
I hope you still have that cell phone.
I'm not bitter or anything though. So
Oh, throwing the name out and not bitter. Still salty. Shannon?
Me, probably the worst thing is giving my number to you guys.
oh
Oh, that's messed up.
No, I'm just kidding. No. Probably the worst thing that happened to my phone was on my 21st birthday, I got really intoxicated, which I don't recommend. Uh, and I just woke up the next morning. Don't really know what happened, and my phone was cracked. I assumed that one of you stepped on it,
What?
but I don't know. I don't really know.
Oh, that was a fun time. So I'm assuming afterwards you still had to use it with the cracked screen. Most people do.
Yeah, I used it.
Yeah. Matthew?
I lost some of my hottest verses down in Cabo. So if you find a BlackBerry with the side scroll, sell that mofo to any rapper that I know.
Drake?
Okay, Drake.
No, that was me.
So that was the worst thing that happened to your phone, huh?
Yep.
Well, you couldn't still use it. So we need another story.
Damn. I checked my phone one time because of someone that her first name starts with E. She would piss me off. Just like I had a T-Mobile Sidekick, which is my favorite phone of all time. I wish they would come out with those again. I would definitely buy that, even if it's like old school still. I had enough sense to say I'm gonna throw it really hard in the grass instead of like on the sidewalk or something. So I just walked by the grass and I just spiked it. I think it just lost like a piece of the cover, but nothing too bad. I take care of my stuff, you know.
It must be a common occurrence in this group because I threw my cell phone too and shattered. And then I had to explain to my mom why my phone was shattered. And then I told her that it dropped when I was driving. It didn't work. And then I had to tell her the truth that I threw it against the staircase in my house.
What happened? Did you get punished?
Nope, I had to pay for it. So that was my punishment, I guess.
Who upset you? Like, what happened?
What's this? Do
Dude,
you
why
know
are
the
you
story?
grilling me?
I want to know.
No, I just got
I'm
upset, Shannon.
Why were you upset? What happened, Chris? Who hurt you?
Just somebody, an
Oh,
ex back in the day.
okay.
Thanks.
Sorry, buddy.
Uh,
I do have one other story, kind of related to the initial video here. A close friend of mine, shout out to her. She's married now. We're still friends to this day, though. She one time was going to the restroom and texting or whatever, like I'm sure some of you have done or I've done in the past. And when she went to flush, cell phone falls out of her hand or whatever, right down the toilet and gone, never to be seen again.
oh, it actually flushed.
Yeah, it actually just went. And
Oh,
I remember hearing back, like, cause she, I'm like, oh no, she left me on red. And that was before that was even a saying. And then I hear from her 3 days later, she's like, yeah, my phone, I accidentally flushed it down the toilet. Until this day, if I'm ever texting while shitting or anything like that, when I go to flush, I hold my phone with a death grip because I have this fear, which I believe is now rational, that I'm gonna drop my phone into the toilet and it's just gonna go down through the plumbing. So
moving on to the next segment. Now that we got all our phone issues out of the way, would you rather with James Watkins? James, you got some good would you rathers for us?
I have one this
Just one?
week. Just one. It's an interesting one, but and I try to stay short on the details on this because I don't want people thinking and going in all these different directions, right? Or you can go get creative on your own. So, given the opportunity, would you rather get $10 million right now or get $10,000 each month for the next 10 years?
Shannon's doing the math. Look at him. He got a cell phone and he's got the calculator out. Shannon's seeing which one's more.
Before the math, I'd probably go 10 million
Sorry,
right now.
I think I've got that wrong. My bad. Wait. Yeah, I'm doing that math wrong. I'm sorry. It's $1 million right now and then $10,000 each month for the next 10 years.
Oh, that's a little more difficult.
Yeah, that's a different one. Sorry. I apologize.
What was the math on that, real quick, Shannon?
You end up with $1 million, $1,200,000, 200,000, in a span of 10 years.
Okay, so I'll take that lump sum, 1 million right now, and then I'd put that in a high growing account, and then you could probably live off of that interest for a while just after that 1 million. So I'd go with that 1 million cash right now.
You're the lump sum guy. Okay, I like that. How about you, Chris?
I just like how sly Shannon was trying to be, so no one saw that he was trying
I
to.
sure was.
You
know what? I wish I wouldn't have answered you guys on that one, just to see what the answers would have been.
Yeah, that's what it should have been. I would do the $10 million over time. I mean, $10,000. Sorry.
$10,000 over time. Okay.
Because then you always got something coming in, and you could invest it, appropriately along the way. As well as, I don't think you'd be hit as hard as taxes right up front. So that's.
Are we being taxed?
Well, see, I would say no to that because it's literally you get $1 million.
Okay, so you just get $1 million. I'll still do it over time because then it's like a paycheck.
Okay. And you, Shannon?
I take it right this second.
Take the lump sum?
Yeah. And the reason I would take it is I feel like I could invest more of that money like right now and do what I need to do to build my evil empire.
Nice. I agree with I agree with taking the lump sum. I am team lump sum, but just barely. I know myself from a responsibility standpoint. 10 grand a month would probably be a little bit better for me. And then I could, fuck off for the next 10 years, not have to worry about shit. But not that you couldn't do that with $1 million, but I feel like I could definitely find a way to burn that $1 million in some way, degree, shape, or form, even if it's like I'm gonna put away 3/4 of this and then screw around with the other quarter. But
that's the thing with a lump sum, because if you invest it right, you can get $10,000 a month just off of interest, and if you do a business or whatever, you can get that. But usually, if you get 10 grand a month, unless you're really like, okay, I'm gonna take 5 and put 5 away or whatever, then you're just gonna lose it. I think your lifestyle's gonna go up, and now you're gonna get a house and pay a $5,000 mortgage, or you know what I mean. I think it's better when you make it on your own, sort of, with interests and things like that in the long term.
Oh yeah, I agree with you. I mean, you take $1 million at what is it, like 10 or 12% or something like that, you're definitely going to be making around 40 grand a year. But I don't know. I still would have to trust myself to some degree. I now I would, but like 5 years ago, oh, it'd be over. I'd be just like one of those lottery winners, like I won 200 million, and now I'm like begging for crack and giving blowjobs on the side of the road.
Whoa, that took a turn real quick.
You do that anyway.
It hurt my soul. I didn't realize the other day I found out about Delonte West, man, and I didn't know. I didn't know, man.
You mean on our last podcast?
Was that
Yeah, we were talking about him on our last podcast.
We did bring him up. Oh my God,
Yeah.
my cousin brought him up to me literally 2 days ago, and I'm like, what? And I Googled it, and I was like, oh God, no. Yeah, so that's my biggest fear, I guess, or one of my fears, is that I'll blow it all. And
I thought about you, James. Millionaire offers blowjobs.
That's a headline.
What?
Look, man, you want the ZJ or not? All right,
If you have to ask, you can't afford it.
move on. But that's my would you rather that I have this week.
So, as we all like to have, watch sports, and with all that's going on, and unfortunately in society today, have you guys heard, and I'm sure you have, about the NBA boycott and sports boycotts that's been taking place, kind of going back into, the sports world? I think the Clippers recently and the Lakers decided not to play the season, but they ended up playing games last night. So they said they wanted to no longer partake in the NBA season, but all the other teams voted to continue to partake. So what are you guys' thoughts on the boycotts or the strike of sports, and maybe how it's affecting their viewership and maybe even affecting the communities and individuals?
Good thing, use your platform. Many people, bastardized Kaepernick because they said that he didn't use the platform correctly, I guess. But this NBA, they didn't do it, I guess, during the salute to the troops and the country and all that. So I guess this would maybe gain more support, I would think. So now they're just trying to get the owners on the bandwagon so that they have a little bit more money to deal with and try to fight for change. Just kind of what LeBron was saying here in this CBS Sports article. So we'll see if it keeps growing and if they can do other things to open eyes and help out people survivors of police brutality, or help officers that may be stressed and take it out on the citizens to see what they can do.
Yeah, I think that's a good take. Using your platform is always good, and it's good to address in an appropriate manner. I believe in that as well. What I saw interesting, and it's not what I believe in at all, but it was just kind of maybe to spark another take onto this, was an article I read, somebody was saying that it's due to the viewership was down 30% or 40%, something like that. And they're thinking this was to reignite, people to watch the NBA playoffs. I don't believe that's the case, but that was kind of like, yeah, it's a different take. So it'd be interesting to bring up in the podcast. So what do you guys kind of think with that, as well as what Matt was saying?
I think that's probably the wrong take, or the wrong direction to take it. From the outside looking in, I like the motivation behind what the players did in canceling the game, but I also think that there was poor execution. They didn't have the end goal in mind when they just went ahead and decided to cancel those games. but I am happy to hear that they've decided to come back and they're actually going to continue with the playoffs. Be critical, I guess, of the action. I would just say, yeah, they didn't have the end goal in mind, but they did have very good intentions with stopping the play and cause, bringing attention to what's going on and what's been happening in this country for 400 years, son. So yeah, that's what I would say is, good intentions, bad execution, but I'm glad to hear that they are able to work with the owners and hopefully something good comes out of this. Some good action comes out of it.
Yeah, kind of to the point I was making, I think people are going to take it in certain directions and maybe misconstrue what they were doing. And, kind of elaborating on what you were saying is if they had an end intention, maybe it wouldn't be misconstrued with people saying, oh, it's just to get more viewership and, go down that route. If there was a nice little end goal or, if the owners start jumping on board, maybe we can see some more support where the narrative isn't changing in all different directions. And I think you're always going to have people that take it a certain way, right?
Yeah, and even the NBA players, they're split a little bit. Like Kyle Korver came out and he said he apologized for the way they did it because they didn't alert other teams, other players that hey, we're not going to take the court tonight. But then also had Jaylen Brown from the Celtics says no need to apologize. We support what you did. So even the players are split on how to accept it.
James, I thought that was a interesting point that you made, and it makes me think that there's not one leader. I mean, they're an NBA organization, but they don't have one leader that's speaking out for the causes that they want to get out into the world, into the media. So maybe that's something that they will work on in the future, is to bring up social justice issues, like what route do they need to go to just be one group and more united on that front. So I thought that was very interesting, and maybe that's something we'll see. I thought they did a decent job. I feel like they got their message out there, and if people are out there wondering like why these people aren't playing basketball right now, they'll at least Google it and maybe say like, oh, they're not playing because such and such is happening in America, blah, blah, blah. So I think it made its point. So can't blame them for that.
Yeah, I think it made a good point and it put it into the spotlight, right? I think without the case, it was covered across the media. It was on Channel 2, Channel 7, Channel 11, ESPN. Every news outlet was playing it. So it definitely got what they were trying to do, put it back into the spotlight. And that's what they were originally fearful, right? Because they said they didn't want to do the bubble because it was going to take away from the issue and they just wanted to cancel the NBA season for criminal justice and criminal justice reform. And
something that I wanted to draw attention to in relation to this would be the comments brought on by Bruce Arians, who is, he's an NFL head coach, definitely well known for his progressiveness and how outspoken he's been for racial equality and all that stuff. He said was, in reaction to this NBA event, protesting doesn't do crap, in my opinion. I've been seeing it since 1968. I don't know if protesting is an action, and I would beg players to take action, find a cause, and either support it financially or do something to change the situation. And I am kind of on Bruce Arians' side in all that. I know there's been a little bit of a backlash, and his words have caused people to barb at him a little bit or react, but I think he's kind of right on the action piece. Like, have you ever been able to go to your landlord and give them thoughts and prayers if something happened with your job or whatever, or something happened in your life? It's one thing to say something on Twitter and say that you're in support of something, but what are you actually doing about it? I think is what he was trying to say. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that up, I guess.
I will say that's why I feel like LeBron has a little bit more credibility. When you were saying that, James, I agreed with that, just because he is doing things for that. So I feel like, yes, protesting alone isn't going to do it, but it does get the message out there. Arians is right when he says you have to do something about it.
yeah, I think Arians brings a good point that, any cause, you need to, kind of where your mouth is, right? You need to do something to affect it. A post and a t-shirt, wearing a t-shirt's not doing anything, right? You got to go support those individuals. So
I saw this video of this, I guess a black man swung out in front of a white family, and they ended up in a parking lot. And the white man came out of his vehicle and was ranting to the black man, calling him N-word and this and that. And through all that ranting, I kind of semi agreed with one thing that the white guy said to the black man. He's like, well, if Black Lives Matters so much, like prove it. And I kind of get what he's saying in that manner. Just saying something over and over does not mean that it's going to be true. As Black people, there's also things that we have to continue to do. There are definitely some progressive people that are helping out nations all over the world. Black people that are helping nations, helping ourselves, helping other nations, and we have to continue to progress forward and, in a way, prove that our life does matter. And I do kind of get that what he was kind of saying.
I'm gonna say I disagree with you on that one. And I feel like when you say prove that their lives matter, I feel like you're talking about like having a better financial situation for the majority of Black people that are living in impoverished neighborhoods. I feel like that's what you're trying to say, but in terms of like saying like having to prove that someone's life matters, no one should have to prove that because every life should matter.
Yeah.
Is that what you're?
Not saying that your life doesn't matter if you're not wealthy or something like that, but as people, we have to continue to be progressive, and we all can contribute something to society when it comes to that. That money doesn't mean that that you're being a good human being. We all know that rich people can be jerks and be selfish and hold others down. I'm just saying that there are people that we have to continue to progress and do better to show that we are also important. Anyone can do that. You can say all you want. Oh, I'm the best football player. But if you just sit on your ass and you never show it, who knows that? No one can see that. I just see that we can't just say it. Just like we've kind of been saying in this thing, we can't just say or protest or just say that we're not saying that our life doesn't matter, but we have to continue to progress to prove that point. Even though it sounds a little weird to say, oh, we have to prove that we matter, but I kind of see that we kind of do. Anybody would have to do that. Anybody of any color would have to prove their value to society and continue to progress. Even if your parents weren't crap, you can't say, oh, my parents held me down. You have to say, oh, well, did you try? Did you go to school? Did you focus on what you wanted to do and achieve? You at least got to give some effort.
But that's assuming that like the Black people don't give effort. Then that's what you're kind of putting on them because not everybody has to prove that their lives matter.
It doesn't necessarily have to be a Black person, but anyone that says, because the narrative of Black Lives Matter is literally our lives matter, Black Lives Matter. That can be for anybody. If they're saying carpenters' lives matter, if a carpenter doesn't do anything, he doesn't go to school, he doesn't learn anything, or he sits on his ass and he doesn't build anything, how's that saying that, oh, this carpenter is part of this movement and he's trying to be productive and he's the best carpenter now? I don't know if that makes any sense, but I kind of get what he's saying. And also, I get saying you don't have to prove yourself, but I mean, I want to be the best person I can be. Black, white, yellow, it doesn't matter. I still want to be a productive and enhance people around me and enhance, everything around me and make sure that I'm a positive individual.
I think that's fair. And I think even if you didn't do those things, you could say that your life matters.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I don't know. It's okay if we disagree on this. It's whatever.
Yeah, that's the whole point of a podcast, is to disagree and banter, right? I think some of the points are good on both sides. As an individual, to prove to yourself your life matters is something that you should do, right? Is work and strive, like Matt's saying, to better yourself and not just rely on others to give you stuff. Is something. It's. I don't think it's proving to other individuals, because everyone's life does matter, but I personally have a goal to prove to myself, just for me, is to work hard, strive for my goals, and prove to myself that my life matters and I'm working hard to be the best me. So I kind of take where Matt's going with that, and as a personal thing as well for myself, that's how I kind of work through my life, is I set my goals and I make sure that I'm achieving them and work hard for them. And I know a lot of individuals are doing that. I know James has his goals and he talks about them on the podcast quite a bit. How he is part of that book club and stuff, and does his goal journal. Correct, James?
Yeah, I do a little goal journaling, and it gives you something to aim at. But yeah, I don't know. With all this stuff, it sucks because it's so multifaceted. There's so many different angles that you can take. I don't know though. It just, for me, I feel like it comes down to pain and being able to recognize pain and how to deal with it or help out. Like, because if you've ever experienced pain in your life, it doesn't matter whether it's, a rich person who lost, $100,000 deal or, somebody who lost their grandma. I just wish we could somehow have a little bit more empathy and sympathy for our fellow human being, regardless of the color of their skin or their situation that they're in. That I think that could go a long ways.
I agree. I think being empathetic and understanding where individuals are coming through and not just force your opinions and thoughts on individuals of any race or any background or any political view is going to help. Is listen to them speak, hear them out, and truly get what they're trying to put across, because not every individual has the platform, not every individual has the manner, but if you listen and communicate well, I think it solves a lot of issues. And the lack of communications among party sides, race sides, people in general is just so broken nowadays. It just seems like no one sits and actually talks it out to
Yeah,
me.
I mean, it makes me think of, case in point, when we're talking about these are two sides to this issue. This very same thing with the NBA thing. I just said how Bruce Arians said something that he got in a little bit of hot water for. But then you got Brian Urlacher on the other side of it, who comes out and says, well, Brett Favre, he threw 4 touchdowns and had an amazing game the day his dad died. Yet these NBA players are sitting down because some guy was reaching for a knife and got shot up by the police, is verbatim what this guy's tweet said. And it just sucks because, like, I get what Brian Urlacher's trying to say. Like, I understand his, that whole football mentality of, hey, be tougher or whatever. But it's also devoid of any empathy and sympathy for why the NBA players chose not to play their game. And it just sucks, man. I just wish people could be better and not be so shitty. Nah.
Yeah, I guess kind of wrapping up, it's a tough subject, and my point of kind of stating my thought one more time is I think communications across every party, every race is going to help clear a lot of the air, and people can't just get mad when somebody says something that hurts their feelings, and work through it, is kind of, I guess, my last take on it. And really sitting down and hashing it out might be the best option. So last segment of episode 9, it's kind of the hot topic right now is Bella Thorne's OnlyFans. So did you guys see this? She made $2 million in a matter of, I think, 2 days, and now the whole controversy is she's not showing what people believe she should be showing. So what's kind of your guys' view on this and take on Bella Thorne's OnlyFans not being a true OnlyFans?
I will say I didn't see it, so there I've covered myself.
But you saw an article though, right? You saw an article.
Yeah, I saw an article and I saw something on Instagram talking about it. And so basically, a lot of people on OnlyFans will post and they'll get paid for showing nudes or pornographic material or content. What she's doing is basically posting bikini pictures, different things like that. She's not nude, basically.
So the article I read on Barstool was I think there's a fee, right? Typically for fans only. So you had to pay a fee to join her fans only, and then it was a secondary fee that she promoted to be nude photos. That was like $200. That's what Barstool said, and it wasn't what she said it was. And on top of it, they had to pay another premium. So people are really upset about it.
Yeah, the sex workers are pissed. They're all so mad. It's hilarious.
I feel like that's bound to happen when you get someone famous that's just kind of putting that out there. Like they're gonna make money like a lot faster, and I have a feeling that we're gonna see some other celebrities doing this as well.
Yeah, it's crazy that $2 million in a matter of 2 days just for subscribing to the fans only. And then how much money on top of that did she make when she said adding $200 for this type of photo? It was like, I'm sure she's raking in the money.
I've got nothing to say really other than sex sells, not surprised at all. This is something that goes along with the battle of what simps versus incels that people have been saying, or there's been this torrent of internet commenters that hop in to chats and stuff and defend a female in efforts to gain her favor and whatnot. So it does not surprise me at all to see these, what I'm assuming is men. I'm sure there's some women in there too, shelling over their cash and hard-earned money just to see this woman in particular, probably naked or whatever, or the thought of it. Something I do find interesting to this kind of thing is it's just, I don't know. It's like the whole influencer thing that comes to mind or whatever with it. Like, I mean, I get it. She's an actress and whatnot, but like, what else are you getting? Is it really worth throwing your hard-earned cash at to make her millions of dollars in 2 days? It's just crazy to me. But
Yeah, it's
Especially
nuts.
when there are certain sites out there that one could visit.
yes, for free.
What
I
are these
don't.
sites? I need to write them down.
Yeah,
Send
I
it in the
just
message.
I just don't get it. But then you see stuff like, what was her name? I can't remember her name, but there was a YouTuber that got, or Twitch streamer that got really famous, not for doing OnlyFans, but just for having a strong male following. And like, we're talking millions of subscribers. And this happened, like her rise happened during COVID. But then the first episode that she showed her boyfriend in her cast or whatever, her population nosedived by like 40%.
Wow.
So it's definitely a male driven thirst trap fueled
All those guys are so crushed. I
market
have
out
a
there. Yeah.
boyfriend. Bye.
Yeah,
I'll
exactly.
see you.
So I
And
guess
then the other 60% is like, I don't care.
yeah, I
That's
still
just
love
a
you.
goalie. I could still score.
Saying I still got a chance.
Or those are the same. Those are the same one with girlfriends. And like, see, she's a boyfriend. It's fine, babe. I can watch this.
Yeah, it's crazy, but not surprising at all, given I mean, come on, look at what Kim Kardashian do to get famous again?
Find
Found
out.
her Ray J. Listen to the
Oh,
last
okay,
podcast.
okay.
Find yourself a Ray J. That's what we're saying.
Oh, too good.
All right, I got a question for you guys. Would you rather get famous for playing video games or having an OnlyFans?
Like video games.
Ooh, OnlyFans.
I think OnlyFans, you can make a lot more money, but I guess I don't know, the pressure, there's pressure on both. What do you think, like, the highest pressure would be, too?
Video games, you have to be really good.
No, there's some people that are crushing it that are really bad, and they just do funny commentary though.
I agree,
Yeah,
Chris, yeah.
so there's people that are
You gotta
bad at.
but you gotta be funny though.
Yeah, that's true. Clearly, our podcast isn't, but
OnlyFans, because your market and your outreach is going to be bigger. Like, if I'm a gamer, maybe I'll only be able to impress people that know games, but OnlyFans, I could have business women, business men, whatever, whoever after you. So I'm sure Bella Thorne does not have any issues finding a date. You know what I'm saying?
it's crazy that you can become rich off that, or any of this stuff that these people are just destroying and getting filthy rich, like ridiculous money, like Logan Paul and those YouTube famous people. It's just like mansions in LA, parties all the time. It's like, why? How? What do you guys do? You just talk.
Chris, I need you to answer the question gaming or did you already
I
answer?
did. I did.
James
I said
or
gaming.
Matt, did you answer?
I guess games would be just more fun for me.
Fans only. You're gonna have to put out some weird content, and it's gonna be floating around the internet. People are gonna take your screenshots. Your mom
Nah,
might catch
man,
wind
you
of
made
it.
it
But you
sound
getting
it's
rich?
it's
You getting rich?
guaranteed though, right? I'm throwing the oil on and putting in the genuine CD. It's over.
I feel like when I think about it, like logically it makes sense to go with OnlyFans because you don't have to be talented at all.
Yeah, wake up in the
And
morning,
your market is huge.
Yeah,
Wake
right in
up,
your
What are
bedroom.
you huge?
Right?
That's the real
Yeah.
question.
dude. That's all you do. Wake up in the morning, take your dick pic, and then go about your day.
Literally do not have to get out of bed.
Yeah, that sounds
Just make
pretty
sure
easy.
the lighting's right. You gotta.
No,
You know,
no, no,
no.
nope. Not if I got my phone. Just all right, y'all. Have a good day. Enjoy.
You know,
This
you
was
gotta play the hustle game. I'm pretty sure you gotta like message them or something. I'm sure. I don't know.
Nah, man, I don't think so.
You don't think
I'm
so?
gonna be, dude. I already got the tactics in my head. Like, yo, it's gonna take 2 posts to show this. just silliness. I don't know. It is kind of silly though. But then again, you'd have to be comfortable with everybody just being like, yeah, well, we know what you look like naked. And I'd be like, yeah, because you're a subscriber. Thank you for
Thank
supporting.
you. Now buy a T-shirt.
Oh,
So seeing like this is like for real, James. It's a good business for some people. Like I think this is gonna catch on. It's only gonna get bigger.
yeah. Hopefully, I mean, just like anything, though, I imagine the market's gonna get flooded, and eventually, people are gonna have to decide whose OnlyFan do they want to subscribe to if they're subscribing to multiple people. But yeah, it's still weird. Definitely weird, I would
Do you
say.
think the people from OnlyFans is like, this is gonna be great? You know, people could play their guitar, they could stream their video games, make a little money, and now it's just a porn site, and they're like, damn it. Like, how do you think
I
they
don't
take
think
it?
they care at all.
They don't
Fine.
care.
Yeah, the money's coming in. They're good.
They're good. They're like, whatever.
Are the numbers going up? Great.
The one developer that really cared about it, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna start playing my guitar on this and make some side money. Really, people could see my talent.
At the end of the day, right? If you're those guys, aren't they? I mean, all right, now let's sell this data. Some advertiser that can use it, right? That's how I feel like
Naked
all these.
pictures of James just selling the data.
Do they have advertisements on that site?
I don't know.
I wouldn't know. The only time no, I'm joking. I have thought about it, but I've never. Can't say I've ever thrown the money to try it. Can that be our thing for next podcast? Can everybody pick let $10 limit? All right, pick you an OnlyFans and go ahead and join up.
Report back next week. See what you.
I'm gonna see what Bellator's up to, guys. All right.
That's $200. That's over the
Oh,
limit.
fuck that. No, I'm good.
It's over your limit.
They should have like 2 accounts. Like some people have like the exclusive where they're like, oh, nudes or whatever you're into, and then they have one where they're just like, oh, I'm just going shopping and blah blah blah. I'm sure someone will be like, yeah, I'll pay $5 to watch her shop.
I have
Well,
an idea, guys. I have an idea for us. We could do a mid-coast podcast. OnlyFans. Listen, hear this out. We don't have to do anything naked, but the exclusive content is us just sitting here chatting.
Matt didn't know what OnlyFans was. He's like, what is OnlyFans? Am I
Now
too...
look at me.
Now
I
look
got
at it.
6.
Oh, I have something embarrassing to admit about that, or along those same lines. I didn't know what WAP was, and
Come
I
on, bro.
Googled it on my work computer and was like, "Oh God, wrong move." But yeah, now I know what WAP stands for.
So you heard about WAP before you listened to the song, I'm assuming.
This is very true. Yes, I heard about it, and then I'm like, well, let me just see what is this WAP that these people are talking about? And just,
Young go hards.
Yeah.
Dating yourself, James. You're dating
Right.
yourself.
I know. See, I'm trying to think of some OnlyFans that I'll do some research, guys. I'll check it out, and maybe we can come up with some competitive prices.
I wonder what. Just do a
James
comp
would
shot.
be the one person haggling the price. Like, send him a direct email. Hey, I know it says $9.99, but can I get your pants only for $4.99? I ain't gonna use it all
I
the
only
time.
got $8. All right, can I get a one-time discount? Too good.
I just Googled the most popular OnlyFans.
Bella Thorne had to come up, right?
She was one of them. I just clicked on a list of 10. Let's see if I can.
Okay, let's guess. I'm gonna say all chicks.
let
Oh
me
my
go
God.
down to. So far, you're right, Chris.
It's got to be porn stars, right?
It's
would imagine.
definitely all porn stars
Yeah. How?
from the
Which
looks.
one?
Not that I know who these women are.
But from those free sites, you might have saw some content.
I'm sure they look it, right?
What's those sites again? Let me write them down.
Yeah, they are porn stars. Yes.
Well,
you can't
that's
confirm or
they're
deny.
cleaning up their own market, right? That's a good thing, right? So
You make money too. You know, good for them. Okay, let's wrap this up. Well, thanks for listening to MidCoast Podcast, episode 9. Find us on streaming services and Instagram at MidCoast Podcast. Thanks for listening and share with a friend.
Wakanda forever.
Thanks for listening. Add us on Instagram at MIdcoast Podcast, hit the subscribe button on YouTube, and share with some friends.
Join our fans.
Only fans.
It's only fans, man.
Only
How
fans.
old are you? Fuck.
1,000.
Get it on our Twitter. On our Twitter.